CENTCOM launched additional self-defense strikes against multiple targets of the regime remnants. There are precision strikes ordered by President Trump in response to Iran's continued aggression. We targeted a lot of C4ISR, air defense, radar, all throughout Qeshm Island, a couple of port cities. The idea is to blind. It was very much a comprehensive seed, mission. Actually, Ali did a good job outlining the targets last night. CENTCOM statements. So the Strait of Hormuz remains open for transit. President Trump's statements. He sat there and said, we're going to hit them very hard. Then, of course, you have the statements. I'm saying up until 2 o'clock. So IDF, no major new direct Israeli strikes, at least as when I did the assessment that underwrote the SITREP in the past 24 hours. Whether or not that's still true from, say, 2 o'clock today till now, that's a different story. I'll leave that up to Guy, who's far more personally insightful on that. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's recent stance, very much the same, and said that the war with Iran and Hezbollah is not ending. He's not wrong. Israel's focus remained operations against Hezbollah in southern Lebanon for good reason. Regime remnants and IRGC actions and statements in the past 24 hours continued claims of the Strait of Hormuz is closed and the Iranian forces have hit U.S. targets. Those have been directly refuted by CENTCOM. The remnants appear to be maintaining the bullshit narrative control while they're also begging Trump to not finish him off. Hezbollah, at least when I did the assessment, no significant new actions or statements tied directly to the Strait of Hormuz in the past 24 hours. Their activity remains focused on Lebanon and with ongoing low-level clashes and ceasefires posturing against our Israeli allies. As per CAT's open source intelligence assessment, thank you very much, CAT, the commercial shipping the past 24 hours, despite Iranian claims of closure, commercial ships are actively transiting the strait now. U.S. continues to disable vessels who will violate the blockade. No major new reported attacks on commercial vessels in the last day, at least when I did the assessment. Relatively quiet on the water compared to the rhetoric. Commercial aircraft, there's no reported incidents of shoot downs or major disruptions involving commercial aircraft in the Strait of Persian Gulf in the last 24 hours up to when I did this assessment. So, what's the overall? He did President Trump's threat. He called it off. Deal announced, and it's very much, atypical of Trump's kind of strategy. Part and parcel of that is also to try and he's leveraging his version almost assuredly of President Nixon's quote unquote crazy president strategy. It means to keep your adversaries guessing by making it hard for them to guess what you're going to do because there is no pattern, right? And that's very much adopted in no insignificant manner because of the fact that the United States operates as a representative republic and we have inherent disadvantages when it comes to strategic deception and denial. Immediately following with CENTCOM's real-time debunking of Iranian closure claims, you have, basically what you have is you have a lot of bullshit from the IRGC and it's being picked up and amplified by their buddies here in the left-wing media. As far as the ceasefire is concerned, the Iranians are like, oh, there's a ceasefire. Please, Donald, don't kill them. So they're trying to say that there's still a ceasefire, but the April ceasefire that was already broken weeks ago, Armin and everybody else is like the ceasefire that never ceasefired, right? Sketch is not wrong when he says things like the IRGC can't have a deal, or maybe if they do, hopefully, the only deal I would actually accept at this point, or would make strategic sense, would be the IRGC remnants just leave Iran. They have two choices: take your shit and go, or be obliterated one way or another. As far as the decisions behind that, the stated, if you look at what Trump said, he said, based on the fact that discussions with the Islamic Republic of Iran, I'm going to say the regime remnants, have been brought to the highest level of regime leadership and approved. He added that the final points of the deal have to be approved in both concept and great detail, and that includes all parties. So you have U.S., Israel, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Turkey. It goes down the list of all these people. He also stated that the naval blockade of Iranian ports remains in full force. He said the time and place of the signing will be announced shortly. I don't know if it has. Somebody can find out. That'd be great. And additional strikes, we struck them on the 9th and 10th, and that those pressure and the ability to start that up is still there. So that's kind of where things are at. Can I just mention something? Because I know people were talking about this. I know this is the previous topic. No, I won't do that. Regardless of what happens at the national level, this outlines again why Track 2 material support efforts are so important and why Armin, other people's efforts in support of those efforts are crucial, including all of you here. Right? One way or another, you don't have to worry, Armin, about, I can say with a very high degree of human certainty, there's the highest degree of probability that you don't have to worry about MAGA ever forgetting that Iranian people are not the mullah regime. I know a lot of the movers and shakers in that movement, and they absolutely love you.
All right. Armin has a response.
I have an update, and thank you, by the way, Jeffrey. I appreciate that. Texas Troop give us an update saying Trump says Iran deal could be signed in Europe this weekend despite Tehran denial. And then he also is saying the US president says Vice President J.D. Vance will attend a signing ceremony expected in Europe. But Fars News, which is IRGC media, cited Fars cited a source close to Tehran's negotiating team saying no initial MOU text has been approved. So this is an MOU, like memorandum of understanding, not the deal. But President Trump says this weekend Europe, JD Vance will sign. Are there any other twos? Because I have 2 super chats.
No, you can go on to the super chats.
All right, 2 super chats. Yael from Jerusalem. I think I pronounced your name wrong. But thank you for the super chat. Saying Shalom. Can you give your opinion as to why the Islamic Republic opened the internet? I understand the use of a VPN or more than one VPN. I do not trust the regime. Yeah, so just to be clear, the internet is not open, fully open, because everything is still blocked and people have to use VPNs. But at least there is an internet to use a VPN on. And my assessment is that there are multiple reasons. One of them is that the IRGC is not a monolith. There are many different segments within IRGC, and there are segments of IRGC that profit financially more from an internet being shut. But there are many parts of IRGC that own many companies. So IRGC comes and takes all the companies that are successful and basically brings it under its umbrella. And just there are many different elements of IRGC that owns a lot of Iranian companies. Many of them are internet based, and they were making a lot of money on the internet, and now they're losing a lot of money. So the financial cost to those segments of IRGC was so high for the internet to be shut down for that long. So that's one reason. There are many parts of IRGC that benefit from the internet being shut down financially because they sell the VPNs, and they sell the VPNs when the internet is on, and they sell the white SIM cards when the internet is off. So they were making a lot of money from that. But I think like there more money to be made from the companies that are online than selling VPNs or the white SIM cards. So that if one of them is financially motivated. The other one is that they were trying to suggest that things are going back to normal, as a way to say that to basically say nothing to see here, we're back to normal. The situation is not as tense as before. Another reason is because, in my opinion, and this is my theory, I've not seen anyone else say this, is that I think that they wanted to make Pezeshkian give that order and then bring the internet back on as a strategy to act like Pezeshkian has more authority than he actually has. and then he would get the blame for turning on the internet by the people who wanted the internet to be by the pro-regime Iranians who want the internet to be shut down for security reasons. He would get all of the blame, but also this is a longer term plan to make Pezeshkian seem like he has power, so that if the Islamic Republic needs to be more flexible to the Americans and accept some of the terms of the agreement by President Trump, they could pretend that it was Pezeshkian and or Ghalibaf, and it had nothing to do with the supreme leader, and he had made a decision. So these are I mean, I remember some other reasons, but these are the ones that come to my mind right now. But I think the financial motivation was the main one. And then let's go to the last super chat. And thank you guys for all the super chats. And we also reached our goal. Thank you guys. Mark is saying, thank you, Mark, for the support. Saying Trump's not going to come out and admit that they're being armed. It would be stupidity to admit that. It would put Iranians in danger. Exactly. That's why I say I don't know. That's why I say I don't know. But because we don't know, it's good to keep demonstrating that if it is known, the Iranian people wanted that, hence the Arm Us campaign. And it's good to push for that. It's good to demonstrate that there is a demand for that from inside Iran, whether it's happening or not. But yes, that's why I don't claim that. That's why I don't say when Marco Rubio said that, I didn't go to with the assumption that confirms that this is not happening 100%. And thank you for the support.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.